Does goal setting seem maybe too complicated or overwhelming for you? Or maybe you're someone who loves setting those New Year's resolutions, but after the first 1 or 2 months, you quickly lose your focus and that excitement you originally had. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create goals that you'll actually stick to and be excited for 12 weeks at a time. Hi there friends, I'm Dominique from the Pixie Planner, and on my channel, my goal is to provide you with tips and tricks for planning a simpler life. So as I seem to be on a constant quest for how I can improve my own goal setting, I came across a book called The 12-Week Year, and it's by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. Now, this book is very in-depth and has a lot of working parts to it, but I've decided to kind of take chunks of it and make it work for my needs. In other words, I made it simple. Now, I highly recommend that you read through the entire book, and I know that there are lots of people that love to have those extra steps when it comes to goal setting. But I tend to get easily overwhelmed and really needed to simplify things as much as possible. So let's start by talking about why is it important to set goals at 90 days or 12-week increments. First off, you're much less likely to procrastinate, which I am 100% so guilty of, because you have that accomplished by date always in the near future. When it comes to setting year-long goals, I've found for myself that if I happen to get lazy here and there throughout the year, I always say to myself, that's okay, I have 4 months to go, I'll be able to catch up somewhere. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, I was that kid that was a major procrastinator. I did my best work when I knew the deadline was staring at me. And by creating these 12-week goals, you have that end date constantly in mind, and it doesn't really allow you any free time to kind of slack off or push things aside for later. Another thing for me is that excitement and focus that I have always had at the beginning of the year when I was setting my goals up yearly is always there, because every 12 weeks I have a new set of goals that I am going to be working on. So that excitement starts all over again. I'm also less hard on myself because if I do fall off the wagon or happen to have a few bad days, it's really not a big deal because ultimately you have another 12 weeks coming your way. No one is perfect. Stuff happens in life. So if one of the goals becomes irrelevant or you just really have a time in your life where it's not feasible to work towards, then you just hold off on that one and maybe start again with the next 12 weeks. Now, something that I have gotten questions about, and I actually struggled with myself at first, was how do you know what goals to create? Ultimately, you could go ahead and sit down and do a 1, 3, 5-year map, a vision map that is, of what you want your life to look like, where you want to be in those time frames. However, I've found that at least for me, if I am planning too far out in the future, I tend to lose track on what is most important in the now. One thing that I'm really trying to get better at is to be more present. So establishing these 12-week goals has been incredibly helpful for me to really keep myself in the present and to get away from worrying about what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be in the future 3 to 5 years from now. It works incredibly well for some people, but for myself, not so much. I find that I get too anxious and overwhelmed with the thought of having to know exactly what I need to do and where I need to be later on in life. And ultimately, if you are planning in the present, you are setting yourself up for more success in the future. Now, I'm currently on round 2 of my 12-week goal keeping. And something I've decided for myself is to focus on one habit, one project, and one book. So I have set up 3 goals for myself to focus on every 12 weeks. Now, the reason why I've decided to focus on these 3 areas is because when you think about it, most people set goals to either build or create new habits, to focus on projects, whether it be because they were procrastinating on one and eventually said, you know what, it is time, KonMari this house. And then as far as my 3rd one for my book, I'm working on self-improvement because I really do feel that every single person can benefit from learning more about yourself as an individual and also how to better yourself to live a happier life. For the next 12 weeks, I've decided that my one habit I'm gonna work on is no alcohol whatsoever during the week. Now, this is gonna be a tough one for me because I am a major wino. Red wine, my go-to. My family's European. I grew up drinking it, so I might be used to having a glass most nights. What I've found is that I actually sleep a lot better when I haven't had that glass of wine. So I'm really pushing myself to break that habit. So I'm gonna avoid Sunday through Thursday and leave Friday and Saturday open to maybe go out and have a little fun with friends or just sit back at home and enjoy that glass of wine. My one project that I'm gonna be working on for this 12 weeks is gonna be geared towards my YouTube channel. My goal is to really provide you with great quality that is simple yet intentional, so that way you, my viewers, can apply these tips and tricks and tutorials that I have coming for you in the future. And lastly, the one book I'm going to be living by is going to be Getting Things Done by David Allen. I started this book a couple of months ago, and this has been such a game changer for me when it comes to my productivity. And there's so much information in it that it really takes some time to digest. And it's one of those books where I can see myself going back and rereading it because there's always something new that you catch on to. So I would love to hear from you. Are you someone who plans your goals yearly, or do you do it every 12 weeks or 90 days? Leave a comment down below because I want to hear what works for you. If you enjoyed this video, then you're gonna love my Sunday prep routine. I share with you tips and tricks on how I make my most productive, not busy week. So click on that video in front of you and I'll see you over there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm posting a new video. I appreciate you guys so very much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.